Hello, hello. Welcome to the Greatest Love of All podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into more serious topic potentially. We're going to talk about death and how we should deal with it, how we should go through life without fear, and so much more. My name is Izabela Russell, and I am joined by my co-host Ingvar. Hello.
Hello?
So Ingvar, you are the master of knowledge when it comes to all things. So I last week we've decided actually let's talk about death. So I know you have some experiences. Let's perhaps start with those.
Experienced to see how the people are passing. So, because I could see how they pass, and I could see a channel above the head, and I could see this time also a guide who came and they were waiting for a person, uh, a soul. So I could see this. So I will tell about this. I think this could be interesting uh, because, as you said, many people are afraid of it. So, and I tell you, even when I was a child, I was afraid too. So, and I remember that I had, when I was about 3 years old, when I was thinking about death, I was imagine what will happen if I
Mm.
will die, and then I will not be exist anymore. There will be a kind of void instead of me, and that was scary for me. So, and I remember that was for a while, and I think, but later on, when I begin to my path with this self developing, so I find out that I am not afraid of this now,
So
and
the
of course,
story has shifted for your knowledge, and I just want to ask, not ask, but say before you will dive into your story that death impacts everybody. Like there is not a single
right.
person on the planet that's not impacted in some shape or form by death. And that could be, very, it just depends on what stage in life we are in. But that's one certain thing, right? No, there are two certain things in life: taxes and death, right? So we will cover
Right.
one very certain thing in life today. But obviously, it's a topic that generally makes people sad. People are often afraid. So there are those emotions that have a tendency of taking us away from that space we talk about on this podcast, right?
Hmm. Right. But of course, it doesn't mean that I want to die. Yes, I want to live.
No.
Yes. So because I think it's very interesting to have experience here, and I will tell also about a soul, how the soul is choosing a life, and I think this will be also interesting. So maybe I will begin from this experience when I could see that a person was dying, and that was in a hospital. And this time I was about 25 or 6, I remember, something like that. And that was my father was laying in a hospital. So, and he was together with for a patient there. But every time when I came to visit my father, I saw on the front the one man was laying on the bed between two windows, and there was, uh, you know, he was in a pure situation because you at once can see that his time here it's not long. So, and once I remember when I came. And then when I was talking with my father, so he was on the left side, and this man was on the right, but more to the in the front of me.
Hmm.
So I could see him, and once I could see that is something above the head, something like a light channel. But it wasn't very strong. It was something like a shadow, but kind of with light, of course. And that was, and I felt something. I felt something that is something strange, but I wasn't afraid, of course. But I could see also that on his left side was two entities, and on the right side it was also two, or sometimes I could see one, and on the behind him I could see also a one and or sometimes two. So I think it was a family, probably the family of this man who died before him. So probably they came to 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 guide him. So and this time I didn't believe myself that this what I see is a true, is a real. And of course I to prove it, I was looking all the time on this, but of course to not disturb this man.
Yes,
But
because he's like, who's
only
this guy staring at me all the time?
no, because he was
He was a,
he was I think occupied by his thoughts, I think. So I did this to not disturb. It was for about 5 days. So every day when I came, I was checking: is this still or it is gone? But it still was. So and to prove it, I was switching the switch for light, and the light was lightning, and I switch off and switch on to see if this will be vanish or not. And it was still there. So, I was interested that maybe it is kind of, uh, a shadow from the window. So I went to the window and there was curtains. So I put, pulled the curtains to cover the windows, and then it was still. So I went to the other window and I did the same. So it was still. And so it wasn't a light effect. I mean, from this light from outside and from the, this from the lamp. So it
so it was
was
like
still.
shadows. It looked like
It was,
shadows to you.
yes, it was like shadow, but not a gray. It was a light shadow. Yes, a
Okay.
glimpse.
Yeah.
So, uh, so you can say when you see the ghost, yeah. So you see that it is something which is similar to the person, and this is kind of uh, a figure which you see with the light. It's so it can vanish and it can appear, something like that. So it was something like that. So, and of course, I was observing this all the time for about 5 days. And and I remember once, that was on the last day, when I came to visit my father, and I saw that suddenly I saw that on the hand of this man, I saw the color was going to be white. So I understood that now the man is dying.
Oh,
And I look at his lips, and the lips also was begin to be white. So the blood was flowing away. The heart was stopped. And then and this time uh, came his wife, and he could see wife because the doors was on the front on him, and on the corridor was she was standing, and she was talking with a doctor about his situation. And she was asking what the situation, and the doctor said, "Oh, I can't say nothing more. The situation is still the same, so we have to wait," and something like that. And he was listening, and at this moment, when he could see his wife when she came, he just passed away. And I remember, wife came and started to talk to him, and even I remember the name of this man, but I will not tell because I think this is not necessary. But she was telling to him, and because she was thinking that he's still alive, and now she stopped, and because she saw that he's not moving, and then she started to cry, and she said with the through the tears, "You left me. You left me here. Why? Why?" So that was very sad.
mm,
But and you didn't wait for me. Why you did this? And I said to her, "No, he waited for you. He saw you when you were talking with the doctor." And she opened widely her eyes, and then and then she got the uh, kind of better feeling. So she stopped to be worried, and then she left from the room and went for a doctor. And the doctors came, and I could see that this entities still was there, and the channel was there also, because I was curious. Do I be able to see this, if this will vanish or not? And came the doctors, and they start to these procedures to reanimation, and but they saw at once that that wasn't successful, of course,
yeah.
and they said, oh, of course, he died. Yes. So uh, and they of course tell to that they have to write this on the paper, that the date and the hour of his death. Yes. So the doctors went from this room, and after came nurses to prepare him, to take him from this room. And after a while, because I was talking with my father, because my father was very interesting what is happened now, that I wanted to, hide this situation from him. Yeah, so I was trying to talk with him, but on the some another theme. So you see, but after a while, when I tried to see this channel and these entities, so I could see that this disappeared. And that was for about 5 minutes. It was just gone. It was only the body was laying. And of course, after a while, the nurses take him from this room and start to cleaning the place, of course. So that was the situation, what I could see. So, and the next experience was when my friend was called me, and there was her friend who asked me that her father was taken from the hospital because he was uh, ill on the cancer, but he was dying. They left him from hospital because there was no hope. So he asked me if I can come and tell something, if there is any chances to or chance to survive for him. And of course I came, and at once I could see that there is a channel. And there was, this time I could see only, I think maybe two, yes, that was two for sure entities, and maybe very weak and the third, yes. So, and I told them, because there was a whole family, I think it was maybe uh, five, 5 or 6 persons there, daughters of this man and a wife and the children, and they, you know, and I could see that he was leaving this place, and there was the channel, and I could see that this his energy was uh, on the plexus solaris, but on the leg it wasn't. So I could see that he was moving in this way, but through the legs, the family was holding him. So there was the family energy. They were they they were trying to stop him, and I saw that this whole family was very exhausted. But it is like that, that if someone is trying to hold the person, stop the person who is dying, this is using a lot of energy, and they were exhausted. And I tell them that the father is leaving this place, and he couldn't, he couldn't talk. He was in a way unconscious, but and he was. So I was trying to ask him, this mentally, and I received from him that he want to pass away, of course, and he have no uh, power to still be here, and he's tired, so much tired. And of course, I repeat this to the family, and they decided to let him,
To let go. Yeah.
let go. Yes, and and so and we were talking, you know, and after the I think half hour, I think I could see that he moved his energy to this heart level, and when of course, later mm, I left this place, and on the next morning, his daughter called me that the father passed away. So that was the situation, the second situation, where I could be a witness of this.
So both stories are very moving. Can I just say both stories are incredibly moving? But one thing that is really evident is that death is a process, and I guess that the modern world is teaching us something completely different. In the modern world and the medicine, it's like one moment you are breathing, the next moment you are not, and that's that. But that's clearly not the case because
Mhm,
there is a bit of a process before the actual heart stops beating and after. And I think actually it's a knowledge that has existed before, but
mhm,
modern medicine took it away from us, right?
mhm.
Because we are no longer allowed to um I mean, even I remember growing up in Poland. I'm quite certain, especially in the villages, when somebody passed away, you would have the body of that person in the house for quite a while until the burial time. But that's not allowed anymore. So, like all of those traditional ways in which we would say goodbye and send the soul off, that's gone, right?
But also, what is interesting, I couldn't see this when my father was passing away. I think it is because maybe I will try to stop him also. Maybe. So so that's why I couldn't see this. And of course, I'm telling you that I could see this twice. When the people are passing away, the now what I see on the internet, on the YouTube, and it's quite popular that now you are watching some podcast or informations that if you are passing away, do not go to the light, they are saying, because it's a false light. And some people are telling this, and even some who have this clinical death. But on the other hand, we know that some people who were dying for a while and they came back here, they are telling that there is a beautiful world. So, and that they are not dying, that death is not exist. It's only a changing, a condition. So you see, and I asked about this, what is exactly why you shouldn't go to the light?
Mm.
What is that means?
So when
And
you say I've asked, we need to clarify. Somebody may be watching us for the first time. Who did you ask? Because somebody may not have watched previous episodes. So what exactly?
watched, I mean, ask because I used to, people sometimes they come to me and because I am a clairvoyant. So I'm asking sometimes about the things, yes. So, and I'm waiting for the answer, what the answer will appear. I can, for example, feel it, or I can see by my imagination, of course. This is the inner seeing, mostly. So I used to close my eyes and then I see what is appear. Uh, so that was a picture that this is the kind of illusion. For example, when you are afraid to not go to the light, and this is a kind of projection, of course. So you project the situation that something will appear, and as I said in the previous podcast, that we are creators, right? So uh, and so we have to remember this, that we are our souls and we are our life too. So we are together. So I am a soul and I am a life my life too, because my life is created from my soul. And to understand this, you have to realize how soul is able to create our life, how huge is our soul, how powerful is our soul to create our life. Because every time when you meet a situation in your life, you are meeting your soul because it is created by your soul. But mostly you are unconscious of this situation. So, so even death you are creating. So, and of course, some souls can create a situation that some trap is waiting for them. But I saw that this is a lot of smaller than you. And this is the illusion. So you see how huge you are, how powerful you are as a soul. So this is a creation, just a creation. So when you appear on this level, so when your consciousness start to appear on this level, I mean, when you are living your this
This
life here.
existence. So it's, I guess, the
Yes,
separation of the soul from the
yes,
body, right? The moment of
right.
separation.
So it you start to see in different way.
Right.
And if you remember, when you are aware of this, that you are the soul, you are a huge, you are so powerful. So you see, because you awareness is that this situation is so small to you. So you see as a projection,
So the
you
light
know.
is not here real. That's essentially what you are trying to say. That's not.
Yes, that this light, what those people are saying that is not real, but also we are the light. So you should know that you are going back to yourself, that you are the light.
That's
So
it.
you don't light and the light too. When you go from you to the light, so you are leaving yourself. Yes.
That's
So
it.
you shouldn't do it. So you should be,
Go back into being the
yes,
original
to the
form. The
source,
original
because
form is light.
yes, you are the
Yeah,
source. So
that's it.
so that was the answer.
Mm.
What I'm trying to explain now. But I think it is also interesting to listen those people, and of course uh, that here we meet different people. Yeah, we meet some honest people. We with love, and we are feel with them confident. But sometimes we meet people who are wants to trick us, right? So it is the same on this level when we live this existence, as you said here. So there are also some entities who are trying to trick us, and so, but we have to be confident. We should know who we are exactly, and then you see this situation as a much smaller than you, and you see at once that you are not uh, resonate with the situation. So
Mm.
you can uh, you can decide that, oh,
Mm.
that is not my story, of course. So I'm
A-
not.
and I think that also it's worth to say, because when we are talking about the death, there is um almost like a circle of life, right? Like, it's like, obviously we have,
Incarnation.
there is reincarnation, but there is a circle of life. And in a way, I guess, it's important to view death as something that is completely natural, and it may seem like completely unnecessary in some cases, but actually it's just, I guess, part of the grander plan, right? Like, we don't often see the full picture. And I wanted to share something that, you actually told me many, many years ago. I remember when you came to visit us here. We live on the island. You came to visit us, and it was at the time when my youngest son was just born. And I remember you were looking at him, and all of a sudden you said to me, Izabela, he is the thing you were hoping to get all of your life. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you said, what is it you wanted all of your life? And I was thinking about it, and it's like you took me completely by surprise. And then you said to me that part of his soul is the soul of my dad. And my dad passed away when I was very, very little. I wasn't even two. So I don't actually remember him. But sure enough, the whole of my life, that's the one thing I wanted. I wanted to have a dad because everybody around me did have one. I didn't. And that was the one thing I always wanted to have. And you said to me that that's what came to me as the answer to all of those prayers of, I want to have a dad, where is my dad? And you went like, it's him within, within that little human. But further on, to that, so now my son is 10. um I remember, so my father died in a very specific circumstances. So he drowned, and helicopters had to look for his body because it was in the middle of the night. Nobody could find him. And one morning, and we never shared that story with my children because, like, you can't tell 80-year-old what, something like this. It's quite tragic. So we didn't at the time. And I remember one day my son says to me, he says, "Do you know what? I had really, really bad dream, mummy." And he's like, but he's like, it was more like like he said, it really was very strange because I feel like this really happened to me. And he said, I remember drowning, and he said, I couldn't breathe. I was really scared. I couldn't breathe. But I looked up and I could see the lights of the helicopter above my head. And, like, it could be complete coincidence, but I don't think it is. Since then, we have a few other little things that come back, and we're like, this is really strange. But the reason I say that story is because I think that we often see things as completely finite, right? But they don't always are. And actually, if you look at something like this, you can all of a sudden see so much love and hope in what happens, right? That we never truly lose one another in that sense,
Mhm.
right? I think that very often, right, when we lose somebody, especially somebody who's really, really dear to us, we turn this into, obviously there is a period of being really sad, but I think that the biggest mistake people make is spending the rest of their life being sad rather
Right.
than looking for source of
Yes.
happiness, right? And I think that that's, I really hope that this podcast could have that underlying message that actually, first of all, death that doesn't necessarily mean the end. It's just the beginning, just in a different way. It's just, in this specific moment in time, that was just required. And we have to look for ways to find happiness in what happened rather than sort of dive into the sorrow that will eventually overtake our lives, make us miserable, and actually will make us lose out on life that is happening to us in the same time, right?
Mhm. Uh, Not so long time ago, I met a man about 82 or 87, something like that. And he was telling me about his friend. Uh, she was a student, his student. and but they were a friend, and she died, and once he had a dream on the night that she came to him and she told him, "Could you tell to my mother do not worry about me, because now I am in the soul hospital and I am healing souls. I'm helping to heal the souls." And of course, he was on the next day when he woke up, he just called her mother and told this, and the mother was speechless. And but of course, this was very helpful for her because she was worried so much. So and then I told him, because uh, about the movie you can see on the internet, and this is movie very interesting movie. It is in Polish. It's called, but I will tell in English, Our Home, but in Polish it will be Nasz Dom. It
Okay.
is made on the story.
It's
Uh,
in English, Astral City, A Spiritual Journey. That's how the official, and you can watch it on Prime Video as well.
but it is the author of the story is Chico Xavier, right?
No, no, it's this one. Yeah, that's definitely
This
the
one,
one. Yeah, it's called Astral City.
Astro City.
It's called Astral City. It's where Doctor Andre Louise awakens in a dark wasteland after death,
Right.
seeking redemption, and he's rescued to a beautiful astral city, beginning his transformation. So that's the
Yes.
one, isn't it? Okay,
And
yeah.
he
So
was
it is on
healing.
Amazon.
He was healing in this hospital,
Yeah.
and after he healed another soul when he was healed.
Hmm.
So you see, that was the story, and I told him that there is the movie about this, and and that was very connected to this, to his dream, this message.
I need to watch the movie now. I'm really curious.
So you see, and he told me, oh, so I will call this mother and told her that she should
You should watch it.
watch this movie.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, and also this Chico Xavier is very. Now he's died, of course, but he was a very interesting person. So he was a medium, and he wrote over 450 books with this
Wow.
automatic writings.
Yes, he has indeed. There are loads of different books and multiple movies actually, based on his work. So, yes, one of his most popular books is called Missionaries of the Light.
And what is strange that he was pure educated, but his books was written with beautiful language. But he also was writing this in different languages. So you see, this is interesting, and I think it's very unusual person. He was a very unusual person.
I think
So
that occasionally we are sent souls like that to give us a little glimpse and maybe help us in the progression, right? I am a firm believer that we do reincarnate, and I am a firm believer that the reason for it is so that we can, I guess, um, complete the full light, right? To go back to the full light and go through that journey. So I think that people like that do come back, and there are so many examples, and this is a great one. I will definitely dive into some of the books. I was looking for some good books to read, so that's a good recommendation. Um, yeah.
maybe I will tell something about the reincarnation because this is very connected to this topic. So what I think. about the reincarnation, because many people are thinking that reincarnation it is a kind of punishment because what they did in their previous lives, and
Mm.
now they have to repair it or something like
Karma.
this.
In other words, karma, right? Hindus believe
Karma,
in karma,
yes,
right? Like we go back if we've done specific amount of really bad deeds, we've got to come back and kind of repent them, right?
right. So you see, and people are afraid of this. You will get bad karma, right? They are
Mm.
saying. But what I could see, but maybe before I will tell, I will go back a little to this, what I told before about this, to not go to the light, this false light. And what then if are people listening this to not go to the light? So where they should go? So they are telling that they should go to the darkness instead of go to the light, because in the darkness is a truth, but this false light is a trap. But people who are thinking about this, they start to be afraid.
Because we
They
are
are
afraid of the
afraid because
dark, naturally, right?
they feel that they are in a trap, in a huge trap, and they are thinking that our life is a trap. They can't move. They are in a cage. And some entities are harvesting us. So you see, you are feel like in Matrix, right?
Oh, yeah. You
It
do.
starts to be scary. And what kind of energy you start to produce then? Fear. You see? So, and there is a lot of uh, agendas on the world which are working, that also in this spiritual movement, that they are telling us something to lead us in this direction, what they want that we should go. So maybe instead of listen everyone who is scaring us, maybe we should ask our heart what our heart is telling about this, how we feel about this. And maybe we will find the peace and we will find the truth, right? So, and now I will jump to this incarnation. So I had the experience that was about 20 years ago when I was beginning in this what I'm doing now.
Path. Yeah.
Yes. So I often used to go on the meetings. I had a lot of friends, and they were asking me about the many things. Sometimes very interesting, sometimes very, you can say in a way stupid things too. But and maybe they want to check me or something like this. What I will tell about this. Uh, But once my friend, she was ill. She had the problem with spine. That was kind of spine illness. And she asked me why her life is so bad, if I can ask. So I asked. And I think I remember that this took me a while to get this level, to get the information, because sometimes it is not so easy to get the information also, because people are thinking, oh, you are clairvoyant, so you should at once to get the information, you should know about the everything because you are clairvoyant. Clairvoyants, they used to know about the everything, but this is not true, because they can know what they can get.
Yeah.
And sometimes are some curtains, because the knowledge can be covered, because we at this time maybe we don't need to know some information, because it is maybe too fast, maybe we have to wait with this, or some another reasons. But
You have to go through whatever we have to go through, right? Like
yes,
you
and
can't often
right.
change the future because information sometimes can change the
Right,
way
and
things will
maybe
go.
we have to do a work with us, but when we get the information, we will not do the work, right? Spiritual work. So, and when I get this information, that was also a picture, a movie kind of, and a feeling. And every time when I'm sharing with this story to another, I feel I feel this even now, that my hair on the hand, on the
Right.
arm, start to stand, and I feel this wave of vibration. It's going through me, and this is very. I think this is very optimistic information. What I got. So I saw a soul which is choosing her experience for the life. And this soul, it is enlightenment and knows very well what kind of experience it's right for her. And this is very aware choosing, very conscious, very conscious. And over the soul, it is the oversoul, kind of what we have, uh, our higher self, higher self. So I think this is the higher self of higher self. And this higher self, this oversoul, cannot disturb, because we have a free will. And she is observing. I tell she because we used to say that the soul is she, but there is no gender. No. But there is a love. There is a love, and you feel, this is I can't explain this feeling. You can't find this word for it, right word. Only a similar, which can explain very purely. And I I saw that this oversoul can't disturb, but even she can disturb, but she will not disturb with this uh, choosing, that this soul is choosing this experience. And this is, you can compare to the situation when the child is going with her parents to the candy shop or shop with the toys, and there is can pick up every toy what he wants, and the child is laughing, is very happy, and is pick upping this toy, this toy, this toy, because wants to play with this toy.
Yeah. With
Um, at once, and even yes, after when is going back to when you're going back with the child, often child is sleeping with the toy, right?
Yeah.
So it is so so interesting because, and of course, this is, as I said, this is so aware. The soul is so aware of this choosing. So now, when you know, and I often remember this, and often I'm telling to the people who, who I am meeting, and now with this information that you are the soul and you are the life, your life, that the soul is, if we say, for example, that we are together with the soul, this iceberg, yes, and on the top is this what you can see,
Okay.
but under under the water you cannot see, but there is what you cannot see. It is a huge part of this this berg, so this mountain. This iceberg is built from the water, right? So only what can create you the condition. So so the condition is creating this iceberg. So let's say the condition are awareness or the God, or so you see you are a part of it, and your life is this water. Everything what you are creating in your life, it is you. So when we know that to create consciously, but you have to get this level, right? But when you start to understand this, that your soul it's not your enemy, that your life is not your enemy, that you will fight with your life, with your um, the situation what you are meeting in your life. That is nothing to fight with. People are fighting, and when you understand that this is you, that you are fighting with yourself, and you will change your way of thinking because you are aware of this. So, and then you feel at once that your connection with your soul, it is right now at this moment, and you are you can reach your soul now at once, and now is a dialogue between you and your soul. So you at once you know that you can talk with your soul at once because you have this sense of this. You are feeling this now. So, and of course, when you during your life, your vibration can go down also. So you are falling out from this feeling. So you have to remember to raise your vibration. When you are raising your vibration, you are raising your frequency and the knowledge. You get the level of the knowledge. So this is how we can explain that when we are dreaming about something, we are forgetting often that, oh, I dream about something. This dream was beautiful, but I don't remember what was there exactly. Yes, on the next day, they used to forget. So because they are changing the frequency. So on the another frequency is when the frequency goes low, so you cannot reach this level where this knowledge is. Yes, right? So you have to raise the frequency and then you can get this knowledge.
I think one of the very practical ways to look at raising your own vibrations is when things happen, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I get from that experience? So instead of really feeling like a victim, look at this as an opportunity, because there is always a hidden opportunity to learn from every kind of scenario life throws at us. And however dire and however scary, crazy, whatever the word, it's anything we go through life is for a reason. And if you focus on finding the reason rather than being sort of drowned into your own sorrow, I think that that's where that vibration can shift, right?
Mhm.
I think
Right.
that's a nice way for us to finish this episode. I feel like there is still so much more
Mm.
we can talk about. This is a never-ending topic, that can hopefully help you raise your vibrations, right? So we hope to see you next week. We will be back with another enchanting topic connected with life and I guess living fulfilled and happy life, right? Like that's the aim for this. But until next time, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, because otherwise you will miss the next episode.
So please subscribe our channel and to see you again.
We'll see you next time. Bye.